Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I don't know what happened, but for some reason it didn't go live. We're live now, obviously, as you can see. But yeah, let me just start all over again. You know what? Let me play the intro for you. Why don't we do that quickly, and then we can get into it. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV for the live review of Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2, and the Romelu Lukaku show. Romelu Lukaku came, Romelu Lukaku won, and Romelu Lukaku bullied Arsenal Football Club. Oh my days, how beautiful is that? Was it the greatest game of all time from Chelsea? No, let's not kid ourselves. We were good, but, you know, Arsenal definitely were a threat at times. But the difference Romelu Lukaku made to this team was absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not sure if I just didn't pay enough attention to him at Manchester United, but I haven't seen anyone hold up the ball so well and bully defenders so much since Didier Drogba. I haven't seen it once. Oh my God, I'm so happy. You know, I was happy and nervous. I'm not sure if you saw the preview on my channel. Link is down in the description, by the way. Help me reach 15,000 subscribers over there. Also subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you haven't already. Check out our affiliate links down in the description below. Smash the like button if you're happy that Chelsea got huge up today. And if you want to support the channel or want to make sure that we talk about, you know, your comments, please do use the super chat function. It's always massively appreciated. Like Diego Costa again. See, I think it was more crazy than Diego. I think it was on a different level to even Diego. And I know that sounds maybe silly, but I honestly believe it to be true. I honestly believed it. It was insane to me. Genuinely insane. And I absolutely love it. Wow. What performance. What? Not just from the team. I talk through everything, obviously. But I just want to focus on Romelu Lukaku to start with. He's so strong. The goal. Like, he pulls 4 defenders. Then the ball goes out to Reece, crossed in, and he scores. He could have had 3, easily 4 today, to be honest. 2 if the crosses were into the right spot where they probably should have been, and then his own header they probably should have scored if it wasn't for that unbelievable save from Bernd Leno. Still, you know, Lukaku should put it so far in the corner that Leno can't save it. But I'm telling you, what save. But Lukaku, honestly, it was the Lukaku show. It really, really was the Lukaku show. Let me just put this stream here on Twitter. Of course, my Twitter is @Louds1507. If you want to, if you want to follow me, that will be always massively appreciated. But, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, put it in the chat if you're happy about Chelsea's win today. And also, arguably more importantly, put it in the chat. How you feeling? Like, come on, put it in the chat. I need to hear you speak, guys. Sorry, I'm really, really bad. Multitasking and typing and talking at the same time, which is not ideal considering, you know, what I'm trying to do here right now is live streaming. But I do have to put this out. But obviously, I do want to go live ASAP, don't I? So, you know, it's the problems that we have. But guys, put it in the chat. In half a second, I will take a look at what you guys have said because, you know, obviously, I want to know. I do want to know, what is that here? Should be that one, shouldn't it? Just trying to add this picture here, if it so works. Half a second, guys. I'm almost there with you. What can I see? Lukaku Drogba vibes. Yes. I also want to watch AFTV for the bands really badly. Oh, don't we all, mate? Reece James today. Oh, my days. Lukaku will score 17 goals minimum. I reckon he'll score more than that. I can't lie to you guys. I reckon he will score more than that. Like, he should have scored more today, in all fairness. He should have probably scored more, in all fairness. Oh, my God. I'm so happy. All right, let's talk through this game. Let me just actually save this so you can quickly see it. The lineup that we went with, because it isn't saved anywhere here. But you know what? Let me just talk through it. You guys know the lineup. We had obviously Mendy in goal. We did make a couple of changes to the team. First and foremost, Trevor Chalobah was left out. Trevor Chalobah was, to him, unfortunately, was left out. Azpilicueta moved back into the right centre-back role, while Reece James filled the right wing-back role coming into the team. But Marcos Alonso kept his place at left wing-back, obviously, with Rudiger and Andreas Christensen filling the other 2 centre-back roles, with Edouard Mendy in goal, midfield 2 of Jorginho and Mateo Kovacic, with N'Golo Kante being fit and coming on later in the game. But essentially, you know, still not 100% fit to probably start the game after a small little niggle after the Super Cup. And then we had a front 3 of Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, and Romelu Lukaku. How good does that sound? I'll say it again. Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Romelu Lukaku. was our front three. How beautiful does that sound? It sounds like pure joy to me. That's what it sounds like. As a Chelsea fan, what that sounds like to me is pure joy from top to bottom. Beautiful football, strength, power, goals. Everything you want to see is what they gave us. Everything you want to see is what they gave us. And I couldn't be any happier. I'm telling you right now, I could not be any happier. Wow. But that was the ASMR to your ears, Lawrence. Yeah, fantasy BJ. Do pick up yourself, bro. But yeah, it was good. But I will also say the first 10, 15 minutes, we weren't really at the races. Like I tweeted it, take the stick out of your bums. Do you know what I mean? Like take it right out. Oh, it felt like the typical game when we play Arsenal. That wasn't going to go well. But fortunately, in the end, it did, because it annoyed me for a while. I can't lie to you. It annoyed me for the first 10, 15 minutes. I wasn't so pleased. But then from one second to the other, Romelu Lukaku turned up. Balls fed into him. He's, him and Mari, clearly holding off the ball, playing it back to Kovacic. Kovacic with a lovely ball out wide to Reece James. Lukaku turns around, goes for a run, sprints past Mari. Mari tries to stay with him, falls over. Reece James into the middle, and easy as they tap in for Romelu Lukaku, 1-0 up, 15 minutes gone. Oh my days, how beautiful. How bloody beautiful. It didn't even take us that long. Just 20 minutes later, Reece James, this time not as the provider, but this time as the goal scorer, makes it 2-0. What a lovely goal as well. And I want to talk about many players in that build-up. I'm telling you right now, okay? So first of all, Alonso and Kai Havertz on the left-hand side, gorgeous. Initially Alonso, but then Kai. I mean, Alonso gives the ball to Kai. It's a bit difficult. 2 men on him. And he waits. Just before the ball was about to go out of play, he somehow gets a perfect through ball to Alonso in. Alonso cuts inside, tries to feed Lukaku. Lukaku steps over it. It falls to Mason. I'm pretty sure Mason plays it out wide to Reece James, and Reece James smacks it home, rifles it into the top corner. What a goal! What a finish! That was 2-0. At that point, we was laughing. We was absolutely laughing our bloody socks off. But the game continued. Let's not kid, right? We had moments. We dominated for a while after that. But late on, Reece James and I forgot his first name, Bukayo Saka collided in our box. And it was a big debate. The Sky Germany commentators were very, very certain it was a penalty. I can't lie. I initially kind of thought it was a penalty. I won't lie to you. Seeing it back at halftime, seeing more and more replays, it's a tough one. You can see it from both sides points of view, right? I don't want to be this biased Chelsea fan, so I will try to be objective. Saka was running in the direction of the ball, and Reece James was kind of crossing him. But what was weird is that Saka seemed to stretch his foot to control the ball, or just to literally put his feet into Reece James, because if that's shoulder-on-shoulder barge, no one gives a penalty at all, right? No one. But because he stretches his foot out and falls over, it's like he tripped him, but he didn't trip him. So it's like maybe it's just one of those where VAR just will never overrule it. So if the ref gives it on the pitch, VAR probably won't call and say, nah, actually, you got that wrong, bro. But also because the ref obviously waved it on, VAR wasn't going to come and say, actually, that's a pen. It was probably one of those, but as it always so happens with Chelsea, something goes against us, even if it doesn't actually go against us and goes for us. But it made us a bit nervy. So the last few minutes of the first half were very, very stressful. There was a few very dodgy moments where they could have scored from. But either they bottled it or our defending was absolutely brilliant and last ditch. And, we made sure. We got into half-time. It was also raining like a madness. Second half, first 5 minutes, we was absolutely brilliant again. It was absolutely brilliant, but then it was Arsenal. There's so many corners today. Let me actually check the stats. How many corners there? There's so many corners. It felt like. To be fair, they had 9 corners. We had 8 corners. That's a lot of corners. If you think about it, think about games that you usually watch. How many corners are that? By the way, aren't we top of the league now? Are we officially top of the league, or are we officially behind Liverpool? We're officially top of the league, at least on my thing. Obviously, exactly joined with Liverpool. Both 2 wins, 6 points, 5 goals, 0 conceded. So that's that. But bro, Ganswood, it's not the baby version of Drogba. It's like adult version. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's maybe not quite as influential just yet, but wow. And the way he kissed the badge, and then the fans were singing his song and he was clapping them at the corners. It was beautiful. It was bloody beautiful. But anyway, second half, we struggled a little bit with the midfield control today. I mean, Arsenal's press, it wasn't amazing, but our passing, we just struggled with the midfield control. And especially the problem was, as soon as we lost the ball high up the pitch, Arsenal found a way with their just through balls, like being very direct, to always pass our midfield every time. So we kind of stuck in no man's land a little bit until Kante came on. Once Kante came on for Kovacic, we had complete control of the game and it was all good. Like, we were absolutely fine. I mean, Saka had a shot that Mendy had to save, and, you know, Jorginho, like, a ball was crossed into the box and the ball kind of fell onto the back of Jorginho's head and it kind of rolled towards our goal. Emirates Smith-Rowe nearly getting a touch on it, but in the end, it was comfortable. So, and we could have scored more. We could have scored more. Kai Havertz probably could have had one, and I spoke about Romelu Lukaku's chance already. Probably should score that, and would have been another open play assist from Mason Mount. You know, the haters always have a go at him for not having open play assist. Not his fault, right? Not his fault, especially today that Lukaku can't get that, you know, more into the corner. But again, you know, let's not take anything away from Ben Leno. That's an unbelievable save. We also have the first super chat of the day. Big up yourself, Pablo. And if you also want your messages read out and you want me to discuss it, please do use the super chat function. It's always massively appreciated. But what Pablo said here is other teams need to be scared now. Lukaku absolutely bullied Arsenal's defense. Lukaku will be massive for us. Massive shout out to Reece James. 100% agree, Ray. 100% agree. Yes, we know what we are, bro. We know what we are. No, but let me get back to Pablo's message here. Other teams do need to be scared. Did you see him? Sure, Arsenal weren't at the best shot. Arsenal had players missing. I don't care. Arsenal always have something going on against us. And the worst situation they're in, especially with Ben White obviously missing the game late, like with a late call, probably having, you know, the Rona, but apparently feeling unwell. But they weren't at their best. But the more they're not at their best, the more we usually don't win. The fact that we won today fills me with so much energy and positivity and happiness. It's genuinely insane. Like, honestly, I'm so gassed for this. It's crazy. It's genuinely crazy, right? But yeah, he bullied them. Mari, like I said, fell over. To be fair, Holding did a decent job today. I can't even lie. But the amount of times Lukaku just shielded the ball and ran with it and ran with it, he just did what he wanted to do with them today. He just absolutely toyed with them from top to bottom. He honestly did what he wanted. He did what the hell he wanted. But again, Pablo, appreciate the super chat a lot. What else can I say? Yeah, Kai Havertz also had a chance later on. It was lovely play. I can't remember who assisted him in the end. Was it Lukaku or was it Hakim Ziyech who came on? I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, it was kind of on the way to keep. Potentially could have gone for a chip. Tried to kind of make the goalie, but Leno kind of saved it under him, even though we never got to see a replay, which I find to be very outrageous. But anyway, at the end of the day, we move on. 6 points. Perfect start to the season. 3 games so far, 3 competitive games, 1 trophy, 2 wins. Like, well, 3 wins, but 1 trophy, 6 points in the Premier League. You can't ask for anything better. You can't ask for anything better. Lukaku versus Van Dijk will be the real test. Yeah, for Van Dijk it will. That's for damn sure. Oh my days, I'm so happy. But I've seen it a few times. A few people have spoken about it. Aspi was superb today. There was a lot of players that were absolutely superb today. And Azpilicueta is one of them. Never, ever doubt Azpilicueta. I saw a lot of people, and I talk about it on my channel as well, with CFC Pies, who was telling me yesterday, no, Chalobah will stay in the side and Reece James comes at right wing back and Aspi will be left out. No one ever there challenge and question, says Azpilicueta. Some of these blocks today, some of this defending today, absolutely unreal. Some of the crosses to Lukaku as well, absolutely unreal. Masterful performance from Cesar Azpilicueta. And another big shout out needs to go to Marcos Alonso. You guys know, I'm not a big fan of Marcos Alonso. I've slated Marcos Alonso top to bottom so many times. But his form this season, these 3 games this season, he's been absolutely unbelievable. Perfect in every game. Barely any defensive mistakes, which I'm kind of used to from him. But the amount of work rate he puts in up front, you know, again, involved in the second goal. Unbelievable play. Just the guy runs, the guy wins his headers, the guy wins his 50-50s, the guy keeps the ball. He switches of play today. Fair play, Alonso. You know, and I hope you guys understand that when I criticize Werner, if he turns it around, which I hope he does, but I doubt he will. But if he does, I will praise him. I will praise Marcos Alonso, Timo Werner, if he turns it around, like Marcos Alonso has been doing for these 3 games. Do I now think Marcos Alonso is a better player than Ben Chilwell? No, but it's also like, if you play on merit, Alonso shouldn't be dropped right now. Alonso is playing unbelievably well, and you shouldn't drop him. That's my honest opinion. I can't say it any differently. But of course, big shout out needs to go to Reece James. Assisted the first goal, scored the second goal. Even though there was a few moments where I think Reece could have done a lot better. I think Reece could have had a hat-trick of assists today comfortably if some of his crosses were a bit quicker and a bit more precise. But still, the goal, what a finish, man. What a finish. Like, Lukaku's goal was a simple tap-in. But, oh my God, what a finish from Reece James. Smacked there on the celebration, you know, going mental in front of the Arsenal fans. You just can't be any happier. Another super chat about Pablo. What a guy. Big up yourself. Just wanted to say I've also had doubts about Alonso, but you can't deny his effort and his passion for Chelsea. The bloke really cares. And he does really care, to be fair to him. And he's not, I'm a sucker for, loving the club. And, when I see Reese's celebration and, stretching the badge and Lukaku kissing the badge. And, I love it. I love it. I'm a big sucker for it. But it's not all there is, right? Whether Alonso loves Chelsea or not, he's playing well. And the last 3 games were absolutely brilliant. Fair play to him. Absolutely fair play. But Reece, like I said, what a physical monster. His first start, obviously, this season. Wow. He's such a monster. Nearly got knocked the hell out as well, to be honest. I'm not sure how he was allowed to continue playing. Again, another thing we didn't see a replay of. Don't know what the directors were doing today, in all honesty. Really wasn't playing with Pepe. Yeah, no, it really wasn't. It really was. This performance plus captain from the start is so solid. Yeah, no, honestly, it's crazy. But again, Pablo, we massively appreciate the super chat. Always do, man. Always do. But what else was I trying to say? Who else played really, really well? I was very happy with Mason. I mean, put it in the chat what you thought of Kai Havertz today, because obviously it was unbelievable in that goal. In the second goal, how he got that ball to Alonso, I still don't really understand, if we're being honest with you. But otherwise, he couldn't, not that he was bad by any means, but I would still prefer it if Kai and Mason switched sides. For Mason to be on the left and Kai to be on the right. I think they're both more comfortable on those sides. Personally, I get it maybe with the crossing. The idea is to have their strong feet to cross it into Lukaku. But I'd still prefer them on the overlapping sides, personally. But hey, it is what it is. Mason, I thought, was good. Had an assist, nearly had a second assist for Lukaku. Had a couple of shots. People saying Havertz was all right. Who left their defenders back this season? Going to be a tough match. It will be a tough match, but it will be fun because it's, we're joint top of the league right now. So it's crazy. He the best controlled the game very quietly. Fair enough. Kai did disappear in moments. I kind of see that. Mason didn't get the ball as much as he'd like. Probably not, but, that's what's going to happen. Kai had a Kai game. He looked slow and steady, but it works. That's a good explanation, to be honest. King Kai, pure class, fair enough. But he creates lots of space. He did. Havertz needs to play with more determination. Kind of looks a little bit lazy almost. And the skill in the world just needs to push himself more. I disagree with that. It's kind of what he does. It's kind of what he looks like. Kai was very good, but I think Mason was better. Who do you think played better? I would probably say Mason was more influential, even though I think Mason maybe had more situations where he should have done it a bit better than Kai did. He also had more peaks of or spikes of doing great things, if that makes sense. That's how I put it down. I do want to talk about midfield today. I'm not necessarily sure if Arsenal did something great that made Jorginho and Kovacic struggle a little bit today. I think both of them had their bad moments. Both of them did. I mean, Jorginho had a lot of misplaced passes today, unusual from him, in my opinion, especially some decisive ones, right? He was also a bit unlucky with some of the tackles. His tackles always ended up with an Arsenal player, which is unfortunate. Do excuse me. And like I said, one ball fell on the back of his head and it kind of went to the goalie. It was a bit weird, right? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit strange, but hey, we move on. And Kovacic, he just has these moments where, like Lance said in the chat here, we just doesn't close people down, where he's just a bit lazy. I'm close him down. Sometimes we just let people cross, especially after set pieces. So we clear the set pieces, they fall to an opponent outside the box, and we just don't close them down quickly enough. And Kovacic is one of the culprits. Kovacic has really got the biggest culprits for not doing so, in my opinion. But Kovacic is also brilliant. Obviously, the ball out to Reece James that went for the Lukaku goal, beautiful. A few of the dribbles, beautiful. Another few of the passes from Kovacic, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I think Jorginho struggled more today than Kovacic, without a shadow of a doubt. I was personally actually a tiny bit surprised that it was Kante coming on for Kovacic rather than Kante coming on for Jorginho. But that was just me, because as soon as Kante came on with Jorginho together, it worked. We had all the control. Sure, the game goes on, and Arsenal probably lose a little bit of hope, so that plays a part too, I'm sure. But we got control of midfield all of a sudden when Kante came on. And Kante's a big player. Kante just needs to make the hell sure that he stops getting injured all the time, because he's injured too bloody much. And it's kind of frustrating. I can't lie to you. I absolutely can't lie to you. Let me actually check something here. What am I saying here? What is this? By the way, Tuchel said James wasn't unconscious, as James thought he lost a tooth. Not sure why being unconscious stops you from thinking you lost a tooth, but hey, what it is what it is. What did I see here? I got another message which I quickly need to look at. Sorry, I need to just send someone the link here. I need to send Joe the link so he can join me here. I need to just fix that. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We will have Joe join us. Isn't that going to be fun? Don't we all want to celebrate with Big Joe? I do. Judge worked the most today, without a doubt. Yeah, no, he did work a lot. That's not why I'm not disagreeing with that. People know I'm a big fan of Jorginho. I just think his passing wasn't quite as good as I usually see it from him, to be honest. But yeah, Kante came on, Hakim Ziyech came on as well. Once he should have shot, tried to square it. Once he should have squared it or passed it, crossed it, whatever. He decided to shoot. Not the best decision making, but unbelievable recovery from Hakim Ziyech. You know, I mean, there was surgery on the table that would have been months out of the game, or at least many weeks, right? And in the end, he was back within like 10 days. Crazy. So I just sent the link here. Let's hope that goes through. So here we are. What can I see here? We played in our second gear today, but I never looked unsteady at the back. Oh, see, this is what I slightly disagree with today. I don't think we looked that steady. Maybe it's because Arsenal always worry me with the stupid results they always get against us. But I didn't like how comfortably they got in behind us a few too many times. Sure, they didn't do anything with it because they're Arsenal and they're awful. But I didn't like that we let them do it as much. Against Liverpool, we can't allow that next week. Absolutely can't. There's a few mistakes which can't be done against Liverpool because they will take their chance. That's true. Hakim should start games. He's a player that gets better as the game goes on. That's true, but he wasn't fit to start yesterday. But we're also joined by a good friend, Mr. Blues Bro, Joe. You told me your surname the other week, or at the end of last season. I forgot again, so I'm super sorry. But we are joined by Joe, who is hopefully as happy as I am about Chelsea's victory today. But what did you make of the game, bro?
Yeah, big time. Can you guys hear me, yeah? All good?
Not very well, actually.
Is that any better?
It's better.
It's better. It could be better. There we go.
There you go. Now you're louder. It was more you're very quiet, but now it's good. Go on.
Yeah, good. No problem. That's just me. Yes, I'm very happy. Mason is my surname. But
there you go.
We're it's weird really. I was underwhelmed by the second half, but I think that was expected. I mean, I did not think Romelu Lukaku would make the instant impact he had, but Christ.
Wow. Yeah.
Incredible. I'm very excited for the rest of the season. I think it's going to go well. I think I would like to have seen Werner have an extra 10, 15 minutes because I think that was the whole point of getting Lukaku to get the best out of him anyway. But I don't think the game warranted wasting Timo Werner's energy because I think we had it in the bag within 50 minutes of the game anyway.
It is because you mentioned there in the second half also, and I presume also late in the first half. We'll get into the penalty situation in a minute as well if you want to talk about that. But what I personally didn't like, they until Kante came on, they got past our midfield way too easily and got in behind all the time. They never did anything with it because they're awful and they're Arsenal. But I still didn't like how easily they did it sometimes. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe they was just so direct that you can't really stop that. But then because they were so direct, it made it difficult for them to do anything with it in the end.
Yeah, it was a strange one. I think it was Jorginho for his standards had a relatively poor game when it comes to interceptions and stuff. And
like he was still pretty decent, but compared to what we've seen from him recently, it wasn't quite as good.
Yeah, exactly, and that isn't in no way me saying Jorginho is poor. Yeah, I'm saying for his standards, today was a poor game for him. But with any luck, my mate said we're going to win the league. But with any luck, he'll get out of that. You know, he's just won the Euros. He played sort of enough minutes during pre-season to be a bit tired. He played the first game. I hope that he gets back into it. It might have just been a bit poor from him, but with the exception of him being poor for his standards, that he still had a decent game. It was just not Jorginho, not the Jorginho we're used to seeing. But the other 10 people on the pitch had a fantastic game. So luckily, it sort of nullified itself. I think all Kovacic needs as a midfielder, he just needs his shooting boots because he gets in fantastic positions. He had a massive say in the 2 goals when it comes to actual play itself. But
especially the first one. Was he involved in the second one too? I don't remember.
Or even if he wasn't too well involved, he at least, I'm sure, if I looked back at it, he would have been the person that got the ball intercepted in the first place and things like that. But no, I'd be much more confident with N'Golo Kante playing with either of those two rather than having Jorginho and Kovacic as a pair. I think Kante brings out the best in both of them individually. I don't want to see them both play together without him, because I think he complements whoever he's playing next to, whereas Kovacic and Jorginho play 50 times better with him. So midfield-wise, I think it needs to be N'Golo Kante as the definite, and depending on the team we're playing against, it needs to be Kova or Jorginho rather than Jorginho being the catalyst now. I think especially with Romelu Lukaku, it needs to be Kante.
See, there's a couple of, it's not a problems, that's the wrong word. No, number one problem is Kante isn't fit enough to be that because he's always injured somehow. Or not like always injured, but always picks up an injury that takes him out of like 2-3 games and then he's back again and then he's, you know what I mean? So you need to be a bit careful with not overplaying him too. But I personally, I'm not a fan of Kante and Jorginho together. Liverpool is one of the games where that's maybe an option because they're so intense. But in general, I think they leave a bit too many gaps because both of them like to push and then no one sits. Yeah. And I'm always a little bit scared of that. But I think everyone can agree that Kante and Jorginho is our best pairing. I think most people would agree, even though Kovacic, it's like when Kovacic shoots, especially the volleys, it's like he hits them like he's trying to play a 60-yard switch ball. He doesn't realize that he's not meant to go like 20 yards in the air. Just keep it down, lad. Don't get under the ball every time. It's
like, I don't know if any of the fans here follow rugby, but it's almost like he's trying to kick it into touch half the time. It's a difficult one, but I think not going to be too negative. I think the first 45 minutes we were unplayable, to be perfectly honest with you. They got into the game a little bit more, but then again they had to chase the game, and we happily didn't have to. It's the second game of the season. We're trying to save our legs. We're trying to do this, that, and the other. It was fantastic. I think that as a starting 11 goes, with the exception of swapping Kante for one of the midfielders, it was perfect. Depending on when we play low block sort of teams, I would like to see Timo Werner instead of Kai Havertz, just for the pace. And when you look at the hold-up play that Romelu Lukaku was doing without even a week with the team, that's going to be dangerous, and I hope it's going to be dangerous, and I'm very excited for it. It's going to be
it's
really,
going to be
cool.
So dangerous. Let's talk. Share your more detailed thoughts on Lukaku today, because I mean, obviously, I've spoken about it already, but I can't even put it into words how impressed I was. Sure, he should have scored the header that Leno saved. As much as it was an amazing save, he shouldn't score it anyway. And he could have scored another 2 goals, not due to his fault, but if a couple of the crosses where it was off the left or off the right, their chemistry, like Lukaku went for the near post and the cross came behind him. Like those are things that will start to get better as long as they play more together and they train more together and stuff. But even Costa, and maybe I didn't pay enough attention to Lukaku at United, but I've not seen someone hold the ball up like this and be so dominant and so strong and such a bully since Drogba. I haven't seen this. And maybe it's just a one-off game. Maybe it was just this crazy today. I don't know. But what I saw today was, to me, mind-boggling.
Yes. Maybe him being comfortable with the atmosphere of, I know it was at the Emirates, but maybe him being sort of au fait with the background staff of Chelsea and things like that. Of course, it would have changed hands in 10 plus years or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe it's slightly different to going to a completely new club, considering he was there 10 years ago, which might have helped his sort of confidence for the game. So that might have played a factor. Regardless of that, it was fantastic. It was almost, 14 minutes? It's almost instantaneous of a thing, Reece James was fantastic. The ball from Kovacic was incredible. Not only did Lukaku get in the position to score a very easy tap-in, he was pretty much the reason Kovacic had the space to pass to Reece James in the first place.
100%. He drew 4 players onto him. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Which is something we haven't been used to in recent years, and I think with low block people when you go against your sort of you go against your Brentfords and the Norwiches and the people that are gonna essentially, in my head anyway, or the Burnley sort of fighting for the relegation battle. Not now because it's very early, but his hold-up play is going to be the reason we are going to win 3-0 instead of a sneaky 1-0 that we get lucky with. And I think we finally, after Drogba and of course Diego Costa, big shout out to him, but we finally found I know he wasn't technically a number 9, but I know we found a number 9 that is going to, with any luck, be our final piece of Tuchel's puzzle, and long may it continue. I think if we continue playing like that, and yes, what you said before I joined, Arsenal were poor. I know they've got a lot of issues, and like you said again, they've always got issues when they play us. You know, if we beat them, there's 50 excuses. If we win, they're the best team in the world, because that's Arsenal. But we look dangerous today, and I think if we play like that against 95% of the people we're going to come up against, whether that be Champions League, Carabao, FA, or the league, I think we've got a very good chance of coming out trumps in almost all of them if we play.
100%. See, but I do want to clarify myself if that came across. I don't actually think Arsenal were bad, if that makes sense. Like, sure, they're in the end, in the final third, they were maybe not quite as good as they just were as good as their teammates, right? But in terms of how they quite often beat our midfield, I don't even think they were that bad. And like, we definitely had a lot of games where we had way more chance than we did today. So I don't even think they were like awful. It was almost like the typical Arsenal, how they turn up against us. But for once, we didn't crumble under it. For once, we had, and I'm not going to say it's all Lukaku. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I feel like it gave everyone that confidence. When we had to, we gave him the ball and he just held it. Like, they could turn up with 4 players around him. Either he drew the foul, or he kept the ball and kept playing and created a chance, or kept possession at least. So I think that played such a big role. But I do want to ask you quickly: did you think Arsenal could have had a penalty for that?
Initially, I thought it was a penalty. Yeah, I definitely thought it was a penalty. Whether it was intentional or not, there was contact, and I think if that was us in the opposition,
we'd be fuming.
If we flipped it round and we were 2-0 down and that wasn't given as a penalty, I think every single Chelsea fan would be a liar if they didn't say that they wanted a penalty there. So yeah. I think they might have been missed out on a penalty. However, if you're using VAR, we know what Paul Tierney is like as an official. He's quite a flowy referee. And if he is not sure himself, then he'll probably give the benefit of the doubt to the defenders, because that's just the type of referee.
There's the one thing I will say that confused me about Saka's movement. He didn't run after the ball. He kind of stretched his leg out to almost control it, or to purposely put it into Reece's legs. I don't know what he was trying to do. But with that step, even if Reece isn't there, I don't think he ever gets the ball before it runs out of play, because he stops his run to me. Like, he tries to control it, but it's clearly too far away from him. Or I don't know, like, his leg movement looked like he was trying to, like, still scrape it in with his leg, off with his foot. But he didn't get it. So to me, it was like, you can probably give it, but because the ref waved it on VAR, I was never going to overturn it. That's what I think.
It's one of those sort of hypothetical situations as well, whereas if Bukayo Saka was Harry Kane or Bruno Fernandes, I reckon that would be a penalty. Oh,
I 100% agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, not even just them individuals, just Manchester United or Liverpool for that matter. If it's Salah,
if that was somebody else, and if it was later in the season, and let's face it, it mattered more. Like, I know 3 points is 3 points, but it's game week 2. If that, I know they're
19th, but
if that game mattered more, I think it would definitely have been a penalty. But I think there's especially during the first few game weeks, there's a lot less hassle on referees to make mistakes. Whereas if that was if we were both on 55 points and it was Arsenal and Chelsea battling for the league halfway through the season, that would have been a penalty. But I don't think it mattered enough for Paul Tierney or the FA for it to actually matter. So, but like you said, like, short answer, yes, I think it should have been a penalty.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Just lastly, before we round it out here, first of all, guys, we have over 200 people watching. Big up to yourself. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to Chelsea Fan TV. Obviously, smash the like button. It doesn't cost you any money, and it really helps us push these videos out to more people. That's how us content creators grow. So please smash the like button. Because great thing is, right now, if you go down below, it's like a boring grey. If you click it, it turns blue. Just like London, it happens to be. So, you need to just do that. Click that button, make it turn blue like London. But Joe, what I would like to, obviously we spoke about Lukaku. He was the obvious standout. And I suppose Reece James as well with the assist and the goal. But you can obviously mention Reece James. But aside from Lukaku, who impressed you today? Because there was a few that, in my opinion, were really good.
I'll tell you what, as much as it upsets me, because anyone that follows this channel or follows me being part of the channel knows how much I adore Ben Chilwell and loved that we signed him. But Marcus Alonso played fantastic today. I think he's absolutely... he smashed it. He's getting more forward than he used to be. But not only that, he's also got his fitness up to the point where he can actually defend now as well, which is a rarity in Marcus.
Yeah, no, he can. And I mean, hey, 3 games in now, right? And he's played brilliantly in all 3, in my opinion. Against Villarreal, as much as we won the trophy, we weren't good. Everyone can probably agree with this. He was one of the few bad game. Yeah, he was one of the few that looked good or at least decent and kept trying and running and doing. Like, fair play to him. Like, again, I'm like you, not necessarily because I'm this biggest fan of all time of Ben Chilwell, although I like him a lot. I've been heavily critical of Marcus Alonso, but he's just been very good. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. The one other person I'd say, aside from obviously Reece, that was really good in my opinion was Aspie. I thought Aspie was brilliant today. There was people that said Chalobah should have stayed in the side, and even if Reece comes in at wing back, Chalobah should keep playing after how good he was against Palace. And to be fair, he was very good against Palace. And yeah, it was a harsh decision to leave him out.
No, yeah. But
don't ever question Cesar Azpilicueta. One of the blocks in the second half was unbelievable. Like, what a game from him.
Especially, and I reckon that sort of 10 to 12 minutes were when Arsenal were the only time they looked on the front foot. And I think Trevor Chalobah, although I'm ecstatic he's not going on loan, I think he will become an even better player purely by watching Cesar Azpilicueta doing what he does. 100%. Because he is probably, I know we're going to be biased, but he is almost without a doubt one of the best one-on-one defenders I've seen for a long time. And not only that, he knows when to go forward, he knows when to stay back. He knows when to make a long pass, when to make a short pass. And someone like Trevor Chalobah is only going to thrive on not only the competition, but on that legacy that he hopefully will be carrying on soon. Because let's face it, Dave, at best, he's got 2 to 3 years, especially with the amount of fitness that he's got. Even if he will become part of the background staff, I sincerely hope he will continue being part of Chelsea. But Trevor Chalobah, he's not going to become a worse player by watching someone like Dave.
No,
so,
no, 100%.
It's game week 2, but I am so excited for the upcoming season. And there's, without a doubt, there's a trophy at the end of it. I don't know what it will be, but there's a trophy at the end of it this year.
We need a trophy. Well, first of all, thankfully, already have a trophy. Number 2, we need to get that Club World Cup because we're lacking that still. So we need to get that in December. And then, hey, I wouldn't mind a League Cup run. We've always gone out annoyingly early in that recently. In my head.
Which is where I think Trevor Chalobah will show his true colours. I think he'll have a very good FA or Carabao Cup run because of the whole sort of the pep roulette of the cups.
Yeah. No, exactly. The one thing I'm not sure if we can have a FA Cup run this season, because you know how Liverpool 2 years ago had to play like the under-17s because on the same day they were in Qatar playing the Club World Cup. So if our Club World Cup clashes with the FA Cup game, maybe we just need to, take that one on the chin this season. But hey, saves us 2-3 games towards the end of the season where we might go like in the Champions League again. You never know. But yeah, I think, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, myself, both Joe and myself both agree it wasn't the best performance of all time. The first half, after the 10th minute, until like 5 minutes to the end when the whole penalty stuff happened and then it was a bit ropey, was brilliant. Second half was all right, especially once Kante came on, we just had control and saw it out, which is what I like to see. But Palace was good. Today was good, nothing spectacular. But still, we're 3 games into the season, we've won a trophy, and in 2 Premier League games, we've scored 6 points, 5 goals scored, 0 conceded. And we're top of the league, exactly joint with Liverpool, who, by the way, we play next Saturday, which is going to be one hell of a game. But I'm excited for it. Again, if you want to, do not miss any of the reaction, subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. Of course, there will be a vlog by Lewis later or tomorrow morning. Let's see when it comes out. There should be fan cams with Lewis. All sorts of content. So definitely make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell button so you don't miss any of the future videos / live streams. Like I said, smash the like button. Of course, check out Joe on Twitter, like it says, like you can see on screen, his @. Check out my channel. Link is down in the description @LoungeVescally. Just click it and it takes you straight to my channel. Be massively appreciated. But yeah, we're going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. London is blue. England is blue. All sorts of things are blue. Europe, obviously, you won the Champions League, won the Super Cup, all sorts of things. Joe's t-shirt is blue. It's a Chelsea kit, but anyway. Exactly. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up the shelves, upwards and upwards, and we'll see you next time.